Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. A couple weeks ago we did a video on fiction platform and had a quick conversation about hook, and everyone in the comments let us know that that's what they want to see. So we are going to talk about your hook. What is a hook? What does it do for us, for publishers, agents, everyone?
This is a big conversation.
This is a long conversation.
Sweating a little.
And it's also one that's somewhat difficult to put in words.
A little bit, but I think it's easy to put in words, but I think it's difficult to put in words that maybe everybody will understand.
Right.
I feel like I've been able to explain this to many people over the years, and this is probably in all the conferences I've done, and the blogging, every interview, this is probably one of the things that comes up the most often.
And one thing I think about hook is that everyone kind of gets it intrinsically. We understand what it is in a book, but we can't always... It's hard to concept the... Okay.
Yeah, well, yes, it is hard to do all of that.
It's hard.
But I think the biggest thing is it's hard to do it when it comes to your book.
True, yes, thank you.
So you can go to the bookstore and, peruse your favorite genre and pull out books and figure out what the hook is. Or when you're telling friends about a book, what you're usually telling them about first is the hook. But when it comes to your own work, I think it's harder to define that, especially if you're struggling to have a hook.
Yes. So first, I guess, what is a hook?
A hook is essentially sort of that one-liner, not a tagline. Yeah. That one line, one sentence description that describes your book in a way that makes it different from everything else. So I pulled out a couple of books and put them here as an example. Cozy mysteries. I'm going to go really simple. Every cozy mystery series, almost every cozy mystery series, has a storyline where your protagonist has to find the killer because a friend is the suspect. And they need to, clear their friend's name. So let's say that's not the hook. That's a basic plot point. What the hook is Krista Davis says the diva sweetens the pie. The hook of her series is her protagonist is a Martha Stewart-esque diva. She can do everything. She also, I'm sure, has one book in her 15-book series where the diva has to clear a friend's name. Paige Shelton, same thing. She's got a book somewhere in there where she has to clear her friend's name who's a suspect in a murder. This series, the hook is the Scottish bookshop. The protagonist works in a Scottish bookshop. That's the hook.
So it's boiling down the crux of your book into that one-liner that makes your eyes pop. I have to read that book.
I used a couple examples. I used the example 7 Days of Us.
Oh, that was a good book.
It was a great book, but when we discussed that in office, it was not one we represented, but when the book came up in the office and we discussed it, all you had to say was that it's a story about a family quarantined together for 7 days, and everybody in the office was like, I want to read that.
Yes.
We didn't know if it was a mystery. We didn't know if it was women's fiction. We didn't know if it was a romance. We just wanted to read that book.
And that's your hook. And your hook isn't always plot. It's not always character. It's that general concept that's going to grab readers.
Yes.
And it could be any of those things. It could be about a character. Your hook could be your character. Yeah. It could be your plot. It could be even your... I'm going to cut that part out because I don't have a third example. But it's not broad. It's not that broad to where you're explaining your entire book. You're just giving that one piece that readers can latch onto, editors, agents can latch onto immediately.
And it could be universal to genre.
Yeah.
7 Days of Us, a family quarantine, could be a romance. It could be a mystery. It could be literary fiction.
Right. There's plenty of locked room mysteries. Sheila Connolly's Cruel Winter was a locked... Yeah. They were all trapped in a bar in the middle of a snowstorm, and someone ended up dead.
It's like a dream come true, right?
Yeah. Well, no, except for the death.
Another example of a hook that I often use is the book The Life List.
Oh,
and
okay.
The premise of the story, which is not the hook, the premise is different than the hook. The premises of the story is the classic, a woman loses her mother, the mother dies. She doesn't like to lose her department store or something. The mother dies. And... and then she has to sort of go on from that. So that's the premise. Happens in a lot of books.
Yeah.
The hook, however, is that in the mother's will, she left her daughter, her adult daughter, the life list she wrote when she was 14.
Like a bucket list.
Like a bucket list, right. And before she can even get anything from the will, she needs to complete the 14-year-old self bucket list. And that, again, it could be a romance, it could be a mystery, it could be a million things, but that's the hook.
But it's that one-liner that just, wow, I want to read that.
I want to read that.
Another example, because I feel like it's probably easiest to just keep giving examples and people
Yes.
eventually get
Yes.
it. 3 sisters inherit a bridal shop, and they must navigate their own romances.
Yes.
And that's it. Like, it doesn't have to be completely detailed. It just has to be enough that's going to hook your reader.
Yes.
And is what your entire story is going to revolve around.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be just a portion of it. It should be what the entire story really is built upon. It's that foundation of your book that's hooking readers in.
Yep.
So you can't use the word in the definition of the word, but your hook hooks your reader.
It grabs their attention.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Synonyms. So we hope that helped. I think that was a pretty good explanation of it. But if you need any more clarification, put it down in the comments, and we'll try and answer what we can.
Yeah. And hook is important because it does really, in a query letter, the hook is what makes us first want to read your book, and then the rest has to carry.
And it's what we're using to hook editors, and what editors are using to hook sales, and sales to readers. It's something that's completely
All
passed down.
very hooky.
Yeah. Wow. It's completely passed down. So good luck. Hopefully you have a clear hook to your story, and good luck querying.